Now that's an E3 press conference like I love them. Don't know why, but Sony's been nailing them these past few years. I call this the E3 of lost games. Let's start it off with The Last Guardian, which was announced in 2009 or 8, I think, for the PlayStation 3. Basically, this is you're a little boy. He talks, you don't understand him. But it's about the relation between this unknown beast, which is a fantastic beast, that kind of a mix between a big cat, a mouse, and a bat, I think. It can fly, has a long tail. Basically, just watch the trailer. It's worth saying, but basically, you help it, it helps you, and it's really between the magic relationship that builds up between them. It's really a living beast. That's what's beautiful about this game. It's you could call this a puzzle platformer, I guess, puzzle adventure game. You know, but this monster has feelings. There's a part in the demo that they showed that it's scared by some statue or something, and you as a character, you have to it has to help you get on the other side, and you have to destroy that pillar. But when you do that, all the bridges crumbles down, and as you try, you escape to a wall or something, and then there's a part after that you help the monster climb. But this part, some other games might have made it like a QTE or something, but it's fully playable, just like Shadow of the Colossus, another game by their designers in which you fight giant monsters all the game long, and just by climbing on them and just finding how to beat them. But it's the third game by this creator, and it's always been magical experiences. Next up is a new Sony IP made by the guys of Killzone, which is a team I never really cared about actually. I never played Killzone. I'm not an FPS kind of guy, but this game looked awesome. It's Horizon Zero Dawn. Basically, it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic shooter adventure title. It's really in this game the animals are like robots, and you're this archer, which is really reminding. Makes you think about Native American in the style. Like there's a part that she kills a small animal, like a little rat or something, and she says she's sorry to the animal. It's the kind of respect she has with nature, but they're all robots. It's the crazy thing. Then sometime in the demo, she fights a giant elephant, and there's a part that she kind of takes a part of it and uses it as a weapon against the giant elephant thing. But it looks awesome, kind of a weird mix between cybernetics and Native American feel. Really special thing, but very beautiful game. I loved it. After that, they showed cool CG video for the new Hitman, which is an espionage assassination game. Showed the CG for this one, it looked cool. After that, they showed the demo and new characters for Street Fighter V. Pretty good game, but it looks cool. It looks cool. I love its style. It's cel-shaded characters. After that, there's No Man's Sky, which is a game made, but it's basically the biggest game ever. It's a universal sandbox title. Basically, you have a ship, you see planets, you go there, you explore them as you want, and you go explore any random planet you see in the sky. Basically, you explore an entire galaxy. Basically, it looks huge, and it's all randomly generated. So anywhere you go, find a planet, you explore it, you look around. Your goal is basically, they actually just said what the goal of the game was. It's to go to the middle central point of the galaxy. So that's what your point. You can also do some. These planets also might be teeming with life, depending on the planet. Of course, not all planets have life, but you might see some animals. You can do trading, have to survive. So yeah, a really special game, and yeah, it's made by one guy. And it looks really stylish too. Well, I think it's made by one guy, I'm not too sure. After that, there was a new project made by the Little Big Planet creators, which was called Dreams. Looks like a kind of they try to make you create dreams, or concretely you make little videos. You can make you can sculpt it really quickly with the press of a button. You can press of a few buttons really. You can make characters, you can make them move with the movement of the controller, kind of like a puppeteer. You can make small films with that. Looks pretty cool, but it's the kind of thing that, like Little Big Planet, people have to go with it and create something for it to be awesome. So it's a big wait and see, but they showed a nice montage to show all the things you could do. There was a little bunny that was slaying zombies, and there was this old guy playing piano, turning into small papers that turned into birds. So really you can do a lot of stuff with it. After that, there was Firewatch, which is a looked like a survival game, and in which you are in the woods and your only contact is a female voice in your radio. They seem to have a little nice chemistry in there, but look pretty good. Then there was this expansion pack for Destiny, the Taken King, a Tale of Revenge. Apparently, I never played Destiny, so I can't really go into that. Then there was a really cool trailer for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I think actually it was better than the one they showed at the Ubisoft press conference. So basically, you can actually play as Evie, which is the female twin sister of the assassin. So it's the first female assassin in the main Assassin's Creed series. But yeah, she's badass. She can kill people. She's tossed one in the fire and stuff, so it looked pretty cool. After that, Square Enix showed World of Final Fantasy, which seems to be old school Final Fantasy kind of game. It will look cute and you can mount some monsters or something, but there were some side-by-side battles like in the old classic. Speaking of classic, a Final Fantasy VII remake is coming. For real. On PS4 and Xbox One actually. But for those who don't understand, they first showed the conceptual trailer for what Square Enix could do on PlayStation 3 about Final Fantasy VII. That was 1 year before they showed Final Fantasy 13 in 2006. And people have been clamoring for a remake since then. And now it's coming. And a lot of people actually started playing Final Fantasy VII with 7. Well, come back to it later in my series, but really, that's a huge deal. That Final Fantasy VII is coming. Pretty good. And then they showed a bunch of indie titles by an indie company called Devolve, which is basically Final Fantasy VII is coming. And poor Devolve, no one was watching. They were all just couldn't believe that Final Fantasy VII was coming. But it's coming. And then they announced a Kickstarter for Shenmue III. Everyone has been, fans of Shenmue, which is basically, Shenmue was a series that was basically you were looking for the killer of your father, and the second part of this game ended with a cliffhanger in 2002, 14 years ago, 13 years ago, sorry, and yeah, people have been clamoring for a sequel since then. Shenmue 3 was outright cancelled by Sega, and now it's on Kickstarter, and it's most likely already funded since the announcement was made actually. And after that they showed Batman Arkham Knight. Looked pretty cool. There was it looked like a nightmare sequence from the Scarecrow. We're playing in first person. Actually it was the start of the game, and if you haven't played the Batman Arkham games yet, try not to watch it because there's a huge spoiler in it. Well, it's a sequel, so it goes without saying. But yeah, it looked pretty cool. The city Gotham City looked really alive in this trailer. Actually, there was people in the street. You kind of little restaurant and a drive-in, and looked amazing. There was a lot of people in it. It was awesome. That they talked about, it was a done part of the video. They talked about Morpheus, which is really, it's the for those who don't know, it's the VR headset, virtual reality. You play your game and basically you can look anywhere. It's your camera, so it's awesome in concept, but it's really something you have to try it. So they didn't really talk about it this much in this presentation, which is a good thing actually. That well, they talked about music and TV stuff, which is all only in the US, so I don't really care about that. To that, they went with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which is they showed the multiplayer campaign co-op. They showed the footage of the multiplayer action. You're really in the future in this one. There was mechs seem to have some psychic abilities. You're like EMP, or you can summon fireflies. Basically, it's Call of Duty with a new gimmick as usual. So next, it's that there was they teased everyone with Star Wars, and then showed Star Wars Disney Infinity for the Star Wars playset. Guy was a bit too happy about that. It was weird. Well, after that, they did show Star Wars Battlefront, the game everyone was clamoring for. Looks pretty cool actually. There was many modes, like survival mode, in which you seem to have to survive as long as possible because waves of troops are coming, and ATST, I think, the two feet robots. It was actually very cinematic for a multiplayer experience. Well, it looked pretty cool. And then they finished it off with Uncharted 4, and they had technical issues and someone must have been fired when it happened, but it starts out with a really crowded marketplace. You saw Sully and Drake just walking through. There was some shooting involved. The fighting area seemed actually quite large, a bit like The Last of Us. After that, there was a car chase, and that's where you see that the town that you see, basically Drake and Sully are on top of a mountain. There's a city on the side of it, and they say Drake says, "Hey, that's that tower, we have to go." And they run at first, and then they have to drive through it, and they're followed by this huge kind of truck with a machine gun on it, and they just go there, and well, it's Uncharted stuff, so basically they must have modeled the whole city and just speed all the way through it. And yeah, it's really awesome stuff. You have to check it out seriously. That it's hard to put into words, but really cinematic stuff. There's a part in which Drake throws a grapple. He's on the side of that bridge, and a train goes in, and basically Drake just tosses around the grapple to get on that train. He's bumping some pillars, just being smashed, and well, the trailer ended there. So it's Uncharted. It's always awesome. one of the best series on this past generation. And yeah, that was Sony, and it looks weird. It sounds weird when I say it like that, but it really was an awesome press conference, the best yet. Nintendo has and Square Enix have quite a challenge to top it off, and yeah, PC too. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. I'll make 2 videos for Nintendo and Square Enix, even though they're separate. Nintendo's a console company, so they might have quite a lot of stuff to talk about. So yeah, and yeah, PlayStation Vita was kind of forgotten again. So yeah, see you tomorrow then for the next one.